It's a new week and welcome back. So you've been watching through the other vids. Hopefully they've been helping out a bit. Just in a way that makes it more easier, faster, and hopefully a bit funnier too. Yes, that's very important, I feel. So I've been going through comments, and of course people ask a lot about posture and how I think about the posture and what you should think about it too. And of course it depends on what you're doing, what you're creating. Is there a purpose? Are you creating a story? So how I usually think about it when I'm not sure what I'm going to draw, it's more like I start with the head always and work from that. And if I know if the pose is like action filled, there will be a fighting or whatever, I know that the posture of the body should be more dramatic. So I will go through step by step the process and of course how you should think, because the most important thing is what you want. Enough about that, let's go. So let's talk about positioning bodies and heads. Of course, it depends on what you're drawing. It all comes from you and what you want to create. And when you figure that out, you should start. And this is the most important thing about this. Start with what makes you feel comfortable with. Because you are the artist. You are the one who needs to be comfortable. This is nothing you're doing by force. It is something you're doing and enjoying it. I mainly start with the head, sometimes the eyes. It's rarely I start with a hand or an arm or a leg, and just start with the head. So I know by the form of the head if he's looking from down and up. Step 2, I continue with the torso. Now, if somebody is attacking or about to attack, kind of like Wolverine is always in this classic position where the torso always is behind the head. If you want the menacing attacking position, you should have the torso behind the head. Now, if you don't want that, then the torso should of course go under the head. And of course, the character you're creating looks more menacing by drawing the Y. The Y of course is a letter and not the word why. The Y is the eyes and the nose. It looks like the character's looking from down to up. Let's have a repetition about the position of the head before we continue. Now here's my assistant. We all know him from before. I will show you positions that helps you create the character's mood. Now, is he angry? Is he neutral? Or is he happy? Or do you want him to look powerful? If you want somebody to look powerful, you should have them looking down to you. If you want them to look angry, you should have them looking up to you by using the Y. As you can see, looking down into the viewer makes the character look very powerful. And by tilting down the head like it's looking up to you and making the eyes and nose using the Y, it looks more menacing and angry. And then you can use different position for the same formula. Looking down from a bit from the sides, it look more alive. Thank you, my trusted assistant, for the help. So after the torso, I start with the shoulders. Now, Wolverine is always attacking with the arms out because he has claws and I want to show them or use them. So the shoulders, I position them pretty high up in the torso. You can use them one up and one down. And after the shoulder, I always start with the tricep and the bicep. And I kind of know how I want the arm to go depending on the character. So it's shoulder, then bicep, triceps, and then the rest of the arm and the fist. And then you can have the lower body directly under the torso with legs under it if he's standing, or here attacking using the Wolverine example where he's jumping towards the viewer. Now you can do this in different ways, but I always have one leg in front of the other and the other leg behind him like he's pushing away from the ground and jumping towards you. And now a powerful position is most noticeable with the chest raised. And you shouldn't exaggerate like some other artists have done, making it look laughable. And a powerful position, the viewer, which is you, should be looking up to the character. So the chest is inflated, not too much neck, and the head directly on top of the chest. It makes the character look powerful. Kind of like Magneto or Doctor Doom usually have this position. And after that, I start with the shoulder and the bicep, triceps, and so on. And powerful people usually aren't very active in their position. They're just powerful. So for most of the time, I put their arms straight down. And here lastly, we have a normal positioned body, which is a classic stand, normal head, normal neck with a normal distance, not like the powerful one, it's almost no neck, or the attacking angry stance where it's no neck at all, only a torso under it. And the arms, starting with the shoulders, biceps, triceps, and the rest of the arm. Now you can use all these in different ways, different manners. I always like to do them fast. This is why I always use a pencil before I start inking, because I'm never quite sure exactly of what it is I want or how I want them to stand. So I draw very fast and try a different ways until I'm satisfied. So those are the steps how to decide the position. You start with the head, continue with the torso. Do you want it behind the head, under it, or inflated? And then start with the shoulder. Position the shoulder high up in the torso or lower down. You should play with this so you know exactly how you want it. And then continue with the bicep, triceps, and the rest of the arm. And of course you'll decide and play around with the lower parts of the body, or just have the legs coming out directly under the torso. If you've seen my live sessions, you see exactly how I start and how I play around with this before I start to ink. And then I start to ink the outlines only, not too much detailing. And after that, I erase the pencil work under. And then the process of the detailing starts, shadowing, lighting, and all that. So try this out, play around with it, do this every day, and you will get a hang of it. You will have your own way of creating positioning of the body. Hopefully this was helpful, because this is a question I get a lot. If you try this out, I'm sure that you will have a good time with it, and I'm sure that you will get a hang of it. And like I always say, this is the way I work. I don't believe it's perfect, but it works for me, and I'm having a blast with this. Of course, if you want to see this live, if you want to see more, we can do it in real time. I'm going live every day with different drawings from start to finish. You can see how I work, and you can ask questions, of course. So okay, my dear friends, that's it for this time. If you have more questions about this, I'll try to explain as much as I can. Hopefully, I'll see you next week, and take good care of each other out there.